All right, according to this thingamajig and this doohickey, we are live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to have a fantastic show for you today. So let me explain what prompted this. I was just doing some basic trigonometry. And as we all know, basic trigonometry is completely sexy and awesome and beautiful and gorgeous and all that stuff. It gives me quite the stiffy. But somebody said that because I am a Globie, that must mean that I worship Satan. And I would like to know, is that true? So it got me thinking, Satanism, could it be for me? Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, I have to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know the first fucking thing about Satanism. Never crossed my mind, but I think I know someone that might be able to answer the questions that I have about Satan and Satanism. So with that, I would like to introduce you to this sexy son of a bitch. Good sir, could you please do us all the honors of informing us all of who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Ansgar Odinson, or Reverend Odinson. I'm a ordained minister of Satan. I do want to say, though, that while I am ordained by the Satanic Temple, I am not a spokesperson for them, nor do I represent them. These will all be my personal views on modern Satanism.
That's a very very good disclaimer. I'm very proud of you. I do have one question that's been bugging me. I've been watching a lot of content as of late, and based on what I've been seeing on this content, it appears to me that Satan is currently involved with Donald Trump in a very sexual way. Can you back
uh,
up these rumors? Is Satan currently boning the president?
I've heard that Satan takes offense to this depiction of him and will be suing the creators of South Park.
I look forward to that. So, let me go ahead and just ask you this. What is Satanism, as loaded of a question as that is?
Yeah, it does mean a lot of things to a lot of people, but in the context that we're talking here, we're talking modern Satanism, sometimes called neo-romantic Satanism. So it is a modern religious movement. It is non-theistic. So in other words, it posits no belief in any sort of gods or any sort of supernatural anything for that matter. In fact, one of the seven tenets of modern Satanism is that one's beliefs should conform to their best understanding of science, and that they should take care not to distort their beliefs. Um, so it's sort of like a religion that places its moral values on, you can think of it as a romantic era sort of idealism. Um, In fact, the depiction of Satan that comes into this sort of modern version of Satanism comes mostly from Romantic era and a little bit also from Enlightenment era writers who were using the figure of Satan, the literary figure, as sort of a way to explore political theory. As an example, one there's a book called "The Revolt of the Angels" by Anatole France, and he uses Satan as this sort of rebellious figure. In this book, you can think of God and heaven as sort of symbolic for tyrannical governments or power structures, and Satan or Lucifer as kind of the a check on that power. In fact, toward the end of the book, Satan is considering conquering heaven. And at the night before, he sleeps and he dreams, and he realizes that if he were to dethrone God and take his place, that he would become just as much a tyrant as God ever was. And so he decides not to conquer heaven, that it is actually better for him to remain a check on God's power. So, sort of neo-romantic Satanism, or modern Satanism, as I practice, takes that sort of literary figure of Satan, that we're going to be a thorn in the side of theocracy, and creates sort of a figurehead. It's not a literal belief that Satan exists. It's a, if you read the Bible, this guy comes off as the good guy, so we think he's a better moral code than the celestial dictator.
It sounds to me like with Satanism, it's the original No Kings protest.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's
It's
what it sounds like to me. And this idea that you were just explaining, it seems like it's more of a political movement, whereas whereas we're going to step away from the overly religious aspects of it, but we're going to use this entire thing as a framework to be like, look, we see what you're doing, with this whole kings and oligarchy bullshit, and we kind of would like to be against that nonsense.
there's I would say there's almost two sides to Satanism. There's what some people might call the esoteric side, where there are rituals and celebrations and things like that. Um, okay, so Sagan talked about magical experiences, right? And he didn't really mean that they were actually supernatural magical experiences. We know that religious experiences live in the mind. They happen. We've done neurological studies. In fact, in some ways, religious experiences are very similar in the brain in the way that they activate to powerful narcotics, drugs, right? In fact, some people can get sort of like addicted to these religious experiences. So, in modern Satanism, we sort of acknowledge the idea that there can be religious experiences, that there can be benefit in ritual, because like everybody participates in ritual in their everyday life to some degree, right? Everyone knows someone who's like burned a picture of their ex in effigy during a breakup. They don't actually think that they've set their ex on fire. They don't think that has any supernatural power to affect anything, but it gives you some catharsis that you're like, it's like you're almost creating a ritual to sort of cleanse them from your life, right? Or maybe you cut all their pictures out of, cut them away from all the pictures. So it's the same kind of idea where you're using, you can think of it as, psychodrama. You could think of it as theater to elicit certain experiences, whether it be catharsis. Like one popular, I guess this would kind of cross on both the I guess kind of political activism side and on this other side, is there's a very popular ritual called unbaptism. And what it is when a Satanist wants to basically say, you know what, I was baptized into this religion, but fuck this religion, I don't believe that shit. And so they go through a ritual called unbaptism, and they get a little certificate and everything like that.
Is there any way
So
I could get that certificate? Because
mhm.
I was baptized as a Catholic when I was extremely small. I believe so small, in fact, I was still shitting in diapers, and I don't think I could have actively consented to something like that. Not that it has any impact on my life whatsoever, but I think just the idea of getting unbaptized would be like, yo, I'm part of the resistance now. Look at me.
Yeah. It's kind of like activistic. It's a little bit cathartic. You know what I mean? Like, because neither you or I would believe that when we were baptized, anything magical happened to us, right? But it just kind of feels good to go, no, fuck you, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
And that's
pretty
that's kind
much.
of what it is.
Pretty much.
Um,
They were like, oh, I bless the name of Father, Son, and blah blah fucking blah, and then you do this ritual. It's like, look, we know that nothing magical's gonna happen, but it's just cool to have that experience, and
yeah.
and getting back to the getting back to the activism side of things, it seems like Satanism can be used as a vehicle to essentially make the activism more potent because it gives you a special, warm, cuddly feeling that is often exploited by people who believe in God and, that kind of shit. They feel
Oh yeah.
empowered to be shoving God down your throat, whereas we can be empowered to be like, hey, what about healthcare?
Right, right. And when you have things like compassion and empathy rolled right into your core beliefs as part of the tenets, then you are allowed to assert that, hey, these are my deeply held beliefs that we should be giving people frickin' healthcare. you know. The other thing that it does is by asserting that, you know, that just because you don't believe in a god doesn't mean that you have no seat at the table when we're talking about religion. Is it gives you and the TST in particular has been rather successful at this. It gives you a seat at the table, right? And I personally think the atheists should be doing this too, right? Like I know that the popular thing right now is the argumentation is no. This is the null hypothesis. I don't have to argue. But just because if everyone sits down to order dinner, right? And you say, I don't want any dinner, none of that for me. That is a choice on dinner, right? Like you didn't have any dinner, but you made a choice about dinner. You didn't vanish from the table. You're still there. And the
Yep.
problem is if you're gonna just, relinquish your voice in this, then religion just gets to run roughshod all over you. And so in some ways, Satanism is a response to theocracy where you can fight back. Okay, you want to put up the 10 commandments? Cool. Put up my 7 tenets. You know?
I love that. I have seen those protests, and I'm like, fuck yes. Okay, fine. You want to go ahead and play this game? Well, we can play it too, bitch. I love that. It seems like Satanism would be like us fighting back against this encroachment because I've seen a lot of mostly Republicans. Let me rephrase that: only Republicans wanting to push. See, I caught myself there. Only Republicans want to push this idea of, you know, the Ten Commandments in schools or being put up highly visible within the lunchroom or in classrooms or whatever. It's like, well, if all religions are created equal in this framework, well then guess what? I know what kind of statue I would want to put in the front garden.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And then we
There's some
see
places.
that bravado change fairly quickly. Well, we can't do that because ours is special. And I go, okay, so your God that objectively murdered a shit ton of people is better than Satan who didn't murder that many people? Because if I remember correctly, the flood did some fucking damage. I think drowning a whole bunch of living things was kind of a dick move in my opinion, at least.
Well, it's kind of funny. Like, if you take that the serpent in the Garden of Eden is Satan, right? And I've seen quite a bit of debate that that's not the case, but let's just go with sort of mainstream view of the Bible. So God's a genocidal dick who kills, untold people because they didn't flatter him enough. And Satan is evil because he offered people knowledge. That seems a little odd, you know what I mean? Or he went to Jesus and went, "Hey, maybe don't suffer in the desert. You could just like not do that." But that's evil. Like empathy and compassion, that's the evil stuff because these stories were written by people who venerated subservience to a king. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like if I remember correctly in the Bible, Satan quote unquote corrupts people by basically telling them the truth. And it seems to me like that was considered a bad thing, especially in biblical times. And when you mentioned earlier that, Satanism actually promotes science and scientific discovery and the scientific pursuit and everything like that. And I talked to flat earthers on my side of the internet that, oh, well, you're just promoting Satan because the globe is Satanism and stuff like that. It seems like they're actually giving me a compliment. Everything in context, they're basically giving me a compliment in that case. You put everything together, it seems like, why the actual fuck would I follow your religion that's telling me to literally shut my brain off and shut off my morality when there's this other religion that I guess is kind of not a religion, that essentially breaks me free from all that nonsense. This seems like a pretty good thing, and I get a little certificate that says I'm unbaptized. Oh, sign me the fuck up!
Yeah, so I mean, there are other non-theistic religions too, right? Like, I guess we have to define how we define religion, but by my definition, it's certainly a religion. It's just not a religion as I grew up with, right? But like, there's certain sects of Buddhism, for instance, that are non-theistic. Although I'm only aware of a couple religions out there, including modern Satanism, that have no belief in any sort of supernatural. So I don't think modern Satanism is unique there, but it's pretty fringe. So let me give you this 7 tenets. I think you'll like these. So
Yes,
the
please.
first of these is one should strive to act with compassion and empathy toward all creatures in accordance with reason.
Okay, so um, you mentioned within reason. Say that again. I like how
Mhm.
it sounds, but say that one more time. Let me just soak it in.
You got it. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy toward all creatures in accordance with reason.
I like that. I like that. So basically, if I tell people that they should get vaccinated because fuck the coronavirus, for example,
Hmm.
that would be running along with, in accordance with that tenet.
Right, right.
I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. What's the next one?
So, tenet two: the struggle for justice is ongoing and necessary. Sorry, got a little bit of allergies going on today. Is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions.
All right. I like that. I like that as well. What's number three?
Three: one's body is inviolable, subject to one's will alone.
Ooh, that's gonna piss off a lot of people, especially those that wish to control other people.
Yeah, and this goes for if you want to identify as a different gender by a different name. This goes for abortion. This goes for quit cutting the tips of kids' penises off in a blood sacrifice to Yahweh. Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, I never understood that. What it's like, hey, I invented this perfect being. It's made in my image. The quick, give me a really sharp object so I can cut at its penis for some reason. It seems like was there an issue in the designing phase? Is that why we have wisdom teeth? Because that shit just does not track with something that a perfect creator, that kind of thing. That seems like imperfection to me.
Yeah, yeah, seriously. Maybe the
Yeah.
appendix.
Yeah, it's like, but while we're here, I guess. But yeah, so it's like if a person is transgender, you leave them the fuck alone. If a
Hmm.
person wishes to get an abortion for whatever reason, you leave them the fuck alone. That's that that's
Exactly.
that's in accordance with that tenet.
Hmm.
I like that, and I assume that this is why with Satanism they are totally supportive of tattoos.
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact, there are and there are I think three different TST run now telehealth abortion clinics.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, if I get a tattoo, I'm gonna be part of the cool kids club with the Satanists. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, what is the next one?
Okay, so tenet four, the freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach on the freedoms of another is to forego one's own.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I just got a stiffy. Oh,
That's one of my
that's
favorites.
awesome. That's my favorite one so far. That is my favorite one so far. So basically, if you are trying so hard to stop other people from being free, you're essentially hurting yourself in the process. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you can
I'm
really feel the like the French writers coming, like the inspiration from the French Enlightenment period coming through when the tenets were written.
I like that. As of right now, with these, from what I've heard so far, I'm failing to see a downside. It's there wasn't one thing in there that said anything anywhere close to, oh, you need to shut your brain off and you need to blindly follow me, whoever me is in this scenario. I haven't heard any shit like that. Instead, what I heard is you should use logic. You should let people control their own bodies. You should let people be free. And if you don't, you're an asshole. I love this. This is great. I love everything about this so far.
All right, so I think this one's probably going to be your favorite. This is
Okay,
tenet
all
five.
right, because that last one, all right, it's a high bar. Let's see if you can clear it.
Beliefs should conform to one's best understanding, so to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs.
And you just pissed off every single religious flat earther that I've ever had a conversation with.
Hmm.
I know that this person is going to enjoy this because every time I mention this person's name, he has a shattering orgasm. But it's a guy by name of Awake Souls, and when he couldn't make the world fit his bullshit, which is the Earth being flat, he literally invented Pac-Man's son. And yes, I am not fucking around there. So waka 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 waka. It goes, it disappears on the left side of the map and appears on the right, or from right to left, whichever way he wants the sun to move this week. Yeah, it's
I fucking love it, dude.
yep. And so he literally decided to say, you know what, because every piece of evidence we can possibly get our hands on points to a round Earth. I'm just going to say that we're in a simulation that makes it appear that way, and the sun is basically acting like Pac-Man. We're in the
Right, right.
Matrix, and who is controlling the Matrix? Well, God, of course, God and Jesus and all of his heavenly angels and shit like that.
So why is God trying to trick us if he's such a good guy? Why is he like, I'm gonna make this world one giant lie?
I know he sounds like a douchebag. so
Right?
but based on what you said, it's like, okay, well, conform to you shouldn't delude yourself, go with
Yeah.
your best understanding of scientific fact. Go with reality, because reality is the arbiter of truth, and we do our best to construct the most accurate map of reality as possible. You should follow that map, not this one from a old book written by ancient people that, quite frankly, didn't know any better.
No, no, and I kind of like the way it's framed too. It's one's, best scientific understanding of the world. Not everyone has access to the same amount of education, so it doesn't really shame people for being ignorant. It shames them for being willfully ignorant. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I have access to this information, but I want to believe the Earth is flat. You know?
Yeah. Oh man, this okay, so that one is close. I'm gonna put that one as tied for first. You definitely got me with that one. I'm gonna put that one as tied for first. It's really really good. Yeah, I'm
All right, all
failing to
right.
see a downside with any of these. Okay, all right. What's the next one?
All right, so here comes six. People are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that may have been caused.
I like that. So basically, it's
Mhm.
like, hey, if you find yourself to have done something that was incredibly fucked up, try to correct the situation. So, for example, I was out four wheeling and I accidentally lost control and flew off the four wheeler. It went flying off into the distance, hit some mud at just the right angle, and splashed all over that lovely, lovely hat of yours. I would be responsible for making sure that that hat got cleaned and made pristine once again.
Right.
I
You just
like
do your
that.
best to fix it. I mean, you can't undo everything, but you do your best.
I like that. It's basically, hey, if you fuck up, try to unfuck the situation. At least make the attempt.
Yeah.
I like
Now,
that.
this next one is actually my favorite.
All
All
right, all right.
right. Every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. So, in other words, if you find fault in these tenets, or you think these tenets are going to following them to the letter is going to take you away from noble action and thought, compassion, wisdom, justice, ignore them. They're not as important as actually the result of being a better person. So this is what I love. I've never seen a religion that in its founding principles basically gave you license to ignore authority in favor of what you're doing, what you know is right.
I love that. So basically, it's giving you agency.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
whereas, if I remember correctly, I'm going back to old Sunday school. This was a trying time in my life. I tried to sleep through it honestly, but if I remember correctly, you don't actually have that option for the most part when you are in the original Abrahamic religion environment. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know they constantly preach about free will and blah 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 blah, but their goal is to scare the absolute shit out of you, especially as a
Oh yeah.
kid, so that you don't stray from that. So is it really a choice or is it just fear of punishment? They like say, "Oh, you better be good, otherwise, Satan is going to, drag you down with all of his devilish imps."
Yeah. Yeah, and that's get them young, make them think that without the religion that you offer, that they are damned to the worst kind of torture, and then make them feel worthless without your religion, right? Like without it, you are a worthless a piece of garbage, not even worth saving. But our God was cool; He saved you anyway, as long as you do what we tell you to. And so that's kind of what it is. They do the same kind of crap in boot camp, right? Tear someone down, make them feel like crap, and then it's like, oh, now that you're part of the team and doing what we say and following orders, now you feel great. And it's a very similar sort of thing. Only we start with children when it comes to religion.
Yeah, and I want to just make clear because we have someone in the live chat that asked this. So let me be very clear. Um, in Satanism, based on what I've heard so far, you don't actually have to believe in Satan. It's more of a framework and more of a it's a group to essentially say fuck you to people that one push religion down our throats and two would prefer to follow a set of frameworks that in this case promote stuff like, oh, I don't know, science and being a good person and also doing it in such a way where you actually have some fucking style. I'm sorry, tattoos are awesome. I mean,
Well,
I don't know about you, but tattoos are hot.
I love tattoos. I love, it's your body, man. Art it up, you
Yeah, and
know.
they support, like, for example, a woman's right to choose. They
Mhm.
support transgender individuals, which is fucking amazing. It seems like, going with your group, going with Satanism, you know, it seems like there is no downside, especially given the fact that I don't have to literally believe that Satan
Yeah.
is real.
So if I had to sum it all up, it would be kind of like this, right? Um, so when before I took on calling myself a Satanist, and I was, I still am an atheist, obviously, but when I was just calling myself an atheist, one of the things that I had always sort of wished is that there was some kind of a secular option for the sort of community solidarity and some of the few positive things that I can really say that organized religion has, right? Um, oh, so and so's house burned down. We're all going to get together and do some kind of a thing to try and get them back on their feet, or just having that figure in the community that
Yeah.
can basically be like a counselor and who will just listen and maybe give a little bit of advice, but without all the give your problems up to God bullshit.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted there to be sort of this secular sort of option for those things, and to me, that's what Satanism is, right? It's this. You don't have to believe in any of the bullshit. Like one of the things that they offer is sober faction. It's a 12-step program like AA or something. Only they're not going to shove God down your throat. Um,
Yes, and I bet you that their success rate would be basically the same. Where it's like, listen,
mhm.
addiction is very very complicated, but I don't think it requires a Jesus in order for you to break free from that. Yeah, the one thing that I really really liked about the Catholic faith, and I would
Mhm.
say it's the only thing I really liked about it, was the artwork. Because let me
Oh,
tell
it's
you something,
gorgeous, isn't it?
they are beautiful. Like when you go into, I grew up in Tampa, Florida, obviously, with all the rocket launch videos. Of course, it's fucking Florida. But, you can go to some churches down there and they are absolutely beautiful. Obviously, the artwork is stolen, don't get me wrong. I,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
the history, but there's also another church in Pennsylvania, I know. And when I went to this church in Pennsylvania, and it has, you all might be able to Google it. It has a statue of Pope John Paul II in the front of it. So Google it and you'll see which one I'm talking about. That church is fucking gorgeous. I love the artwork. I love the symbolism. And what I see with you guys is you're offering your own symbolism and doing it in such a
Mhm.
way that you're essentially giving you're giving it a logo. Essentially, we want to help our community and we don't want to shove Jesus down your throat, but here's our symbolism to essentially broadcast our ideas. And
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, you guys got some fucking style. So, so I get to keep the style but drop the bullshit. It's a
Oh yeah.
win-win.
Well, and one of the things that one of the big difference between Satanism and like a theistic religion is when you go into, let's say you go into a church experience like a big mass, right? And there really is a feeling that happens in a big event like that.
Yes.
I won't deny that. It can give you this exhilarating sort of feeling, and people come away with that with profound experiences. The Catholic will tell you God has touched their soul, right? We will tell you, go look at the neurological studies. You had a psychological experience that happened in your brain. It's no less real. It's no less profound. It's no less moving, but it's not supernatural. You don't have to pretend that a goblin put that in your heart. You know what I mean? It didn't.
I'm
You're
pretty
just a
sure.
human.
I'm pretty sure I got the same exact feeling when I went to go see Parkway Drive, or when I went to go see Amon Amarth, and I went to go see a third concert, which was Pantera. I got the same exact
Nice.
feeling, especially like
Mhm.
when Amon Amarth starts playing "The Pursuit of Vikings." Oh, hairs start standing on end. It's the same shit, honestly.
Very first concert I ever went to, it was Korn opening up for Metallica back in the 90s. That was so fucking awesome.
Oh, God, Korn and Metallica. That is a great combination.
Hmm.
And guys, if you want to know, even though it's very it's not a well-known song, but the song that I like most from Korn is "Got the Life," and
Oh, it's a great song,
it
man.
is a great song. I love it. So if you guys want to know like my favorite Korn song, it's that one. I recently went to an Amon Amarth concert and got to see Pantera, got to see Parkway Drive, and I can just imagine like the conversations. Okay, listen, you're a drummer. Yes, yes, I am. Okay, we want to put you in a cage while you're drumming. Okay, I'm with you. Then we want to flip that cage upside down while you're drumming. Okay. And then we want to set the cage on fire while you're drumming. And then he's like, where do I sign? So, when they're pulling this shit, it's like you get that feeling. And I imagine that the same chemicals are firing off in your brain when you have a shit ton of people in church and they're all singing hymns and whatnot. It's the
Yeah.
same chemicals, really. So if you mimic that gathering, but instead of worshiping a higher power, you worship, like, for example, the idea of helping your fellow man and not being a douchebag and that kind of thing. I imagine the happy chemicals are going to flow like a fucking river.
Yeah, and I don't understand why I have to fight with so many goddamn Christians to do all the shit they say that they believe in. Right? Like they're always talking about, Jesus feeding the hungry and washing the feet of the poor and, caring for the homeless and healing the sick. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do free health care. Let's house the homeless and stop being cruel to the needy. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, that's socialism. Can't do that. Why are we fighting, dude? That's what your guy said.
It's I think what we need to do is we need to change, I think, our messaging. And the great thing about Satanism is that it's very, very flexible, it seems. So if we simply change our approach, we might be able to better communicate with them. So here's what I'm thinking. Maybe the higher up leaders within the satanic religion, that's not really a religion, but you get it. We can change our approach by saying something like, we're gonna build houses for the homeless. It's gonna be huge, and JD Vance will pay for it. Some shit like that. Maybe then they'll be on board.
One of the abortion clinics is called the President's Huge. What's it called? Oh, you're gonna love this. And if you donate to this abortion clinic, they send Donald Trump a thank you letter for donating to abortion.
I love it. I love it. I would love nothing more than to donate to. You know what? Send that shit to me. I'm gonna make a donation tonight.
All right, I will send it to you. So it is the Satanic Temple is proud to announce America's newest abortion clinic will be open June 15th in Maine, so it's open, and it is called the President's Huge, Most Beautiful, Tremendous Satanic Abortion Clinic.
And of course, please tell me that they spelled huge with a Y.
Yuge. Here
I
am
love
sending
it. I
the link
fucking love it.
right now, and if you want to put up the actual like flyer that they sent out, yeah, I think yeah.
Oh,
uh,
damn, that's great. Oh, that's great. I love it. Oh God, it's great. My the thing that really draws me to this is that I don't have to like sacrifice my principles in order to join this, because honestly, you guys are very much aligning with my principles. And I don't
mhm.
have to, say, oh, thank you, God, for giving me these fucking principles. No, fuck you. I came up with this shit myself.
Yeah.
Like, I worked
It's a
really fucking.
celebration of your own humanity, right?
Yeah,
It really is. Like, You hail, honestly, hail yourself is probably spoken across the lips of Satanists more often than hail Satan.
So, for this one person, I don't know. I'm gonna absolutely butcher this name, and I apologize in advance. So, Lil O Q I'm just gonna
Soliloquum.
call. I'm just gonna call you Soul. So, Mr.
Yeah.
Soul or Mrs. Soul, whichever. Let me ask, based on the tenets that you have heard so far, which one of them do you disagree with? That's my question to you. Which one
That's
of
a good
them do you
question.
disagree with? The ones that we've discussed so far. I would love to know your answer in the live chat. Um, but yeah, this is fucking awesome, dude. So you guys are promoting like human well-being. You have a sense of
Hmm.
community where you guys actually help the community, and whether
Yeah.
it comes to abortion access, whether it comes to housing, and especially given the fact that they troll the president at the exact same time while doing this shit, thus making it not only good for our community but entertaining as fuck. I'm failing to see a downside to any of this shit.
Yeah, my congregation, we're planning on participating in like a toy drive for kids this holiday season. We're also donating, trying to, we've kind of reached out. We're going to see if we can work with a couple other charities, but we've adopted a highway and we do highway cleanups. Coming up this month, we have our what's it called? Oh yeah, on Darktoberfest. Darktoberfest. There's a local tap house kind of place here in Wisconsin that's going to host us for a religious reproductive rights charity fundraiser. Excuse me, charity fundraiser. It's going to be like an Uno tournament with prizes and stuff. So we do a lot of different things, and different congregations have their own thing. And then, of course, there are Satanists who aren't even part of different congregations, also off doing their own things.
I love it. I love it. If you guys are traveling and you get more towards the New England area, which is where I am right now, let me know, because one, I would very much love to meet up, and two, I would love to interview other Satanists to ask them, why do you do this? Because I think they would have some very interesting answers, and it would also be great because you could help out a lot of people. And you can piss off so many people at the exact same time. It's amazing. It's like, oh, you guys are evil, bad, and whatever because you guys are not following the Bible or believe it's horseshit or whatever. But then we can just turn around and go and we see. Do you see all the good that we're doing? I don't see you on the side of the fucking highway cleaning up. Instead, you're
Right.
here at wherever we're doing this, bitching and moaning, and meanwhile, you could be out actually doing something positive for humanity.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's turning. It's almost like turning humanism into its own religion, and
Yeah.
then adding a bunch of like dark, gothic themes to it.
I mean, I love that shit. I really, really do. The like an awakening for me was like it was literally the gothic kids that got me into some shit that I'm in right now, and that was like the start of
Hmm.
my formation to the man that I am today. It was like you had all the preppy kids, and then there was the I guess the rejects in the corner, and so I went to go talk to them because they just looked interesting, wore all black and shit, and they were like, here, listen to this. And I listened to it, I go, actually, this is pretty good. And it's been heavy metal nonstop ever since. So it's amazing what you can learn. So it seems like what the advice that I would give to religious folks is to step out of your comfort zone. Maybe instead of fighting, you could join us. Wouldn't that be a sight? And then you can ask yourself, based on our actions, do you disagree with what we're doing? When you see
Yeah.
smiles being formed based on the work that we do, would you still disagree with it? Does the amount of butthurt your God is getting, does that really matter more than the genuinely good deeds that we would be accomplishing? Because if you care about your God's butthurt status that much over the well being of others, I would say that you're kind of a shit.
Well, and if I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, or whatever. If you want to work with me to make this a better world for people, to make it so that trans kids don't have to hide who they are, so that gay kids don't have to hide who they are, so to try and elevate the poor and the impoverished, and make sure that everyone has the right to bodily autonomy. If you want to work with me on that stuff, I really don't care what your religion is.
Yep. And since I still haven't gotten an answer to this question, at least I am not seeing it, let me go ahead and ask it one more time. Solely whatever the fuck 77. I'm not going to try to pronounce your name. Based on the tenets that you have heard so far, I would like to ask you, which one of them do you disagree with and why? Answer that question directly, please. Because I'm seeing no downsides to any of this. You're essentially just like everything could be boiled down to, hey, here's the Satanic Bible. It's literally one sentence. Don't be a cunt.
Well, interesting. There is something called the Satanic Bible. That's from Anton LaVey with LaVeyan Satanism, which definitely has some different views. Some I would call a little spicy. They're kind of really into social Darwinism and stuff like that. But I would say that they are smaller and less they're more recognized in pop culture, but they're smaller and less present, if that makes sense.
But you did say that despite the spiciness of the text, one of the tenets was that if it conflicts with what you need to do in order to be a decent, good person, ignore that shit. So, and
That's like I say, that's modern Satanism or neo-romantic Satanism. That's what I am.
yeah.
LaVeyan Satanism is literally might makes right.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
I like this version of Satanism because it essentially allows me to filter out all the bullshit and keep things that would promote the well-being of our fellow humans. And I think that would be the ultimate goal that we should all strive for, which is the well-being of our fellow humans. In my opinion, following science will result in the well-being of humans. So if we, like, for example, if we believe in biological studies and funding biological studies and taking what we have learned seriously, we can develop treatment and cures for people. And these treatments and cures may not exist yet, but they probably could have existed if people didn't have their heads up their ass. It's like, oh, we can't do that because that's of the devil. That's of the devil. It's like what the fuck was that movie? Waterboy. Everything is of the devil or something like that.
Oh yeah, Waterboy.
Yeah, it's like everything is of the devil, and it's like, well, I don't care about what the devil. And this lady showed me her boobies, and I loved it. I loved it, Mama. I'm not gonna lie. And it's like, yeah, tits are awesome. Let's embrace it, and let's not lie to ourselves, and let's work together to make a better future. And I would say that the way we make a better future is by following science. Following it to where it leads, because we could then use what we've learned to, like I said, develop treatments and cures for shit that's currently making us fucking miserable. Wouldn't it be great to just have an all-around solution for cancer? Because cancer sucks ass, and I would love nothing more than to see that shit be a thing of the past. I think we would all like that, and thus investing and following the studies of cancer research would be in our best interest and the betterment of human society. But there's some people out there that are like, no, I don't like technology. I don't like new discoveries, and because it's of the devil or whatever. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, my kids. I have a kid that's a cancer survivor, so I feel that in my soul that I don't believe in.
It's like,
I want to address soul down here. So soliloquum 77. So I've got a few things. First of all, you said that wearing mixed fabrics leads to low impulse control. What is it? Swearing bonds you with demons, and now you're sitting there. What is it? Asking if our truth is worth respect. Absolutely not. Let me be very, very clear. No beliefs in and of themselves, I don't care what they are inherently true until you can prove them true. And none of them deserve respect, not yours, not mine, not anyone's, until those beliefs earn respect by showing results, whether that be results of I can show these beliefs are true because there's evidence of them, or I can show you that these beliefs have utility because they actually cause benefit to people. Like we know that, for instance, social safety nets benefit people and make their lives better. That is irrefutable. Well, yeah, I mean, you could refute it, but you're just going to be wrong. And
Yep.
so those are beliefs worth respect because they have earned respect. So I don't care whether or not you respect my beliefs. I'm certainly not going to respect yours, not unless your beliefs earn my respect. And certainly saying that mixed fabrics are going to cause demons to, live in my butthole or whatever you think is not something I'm going to respect.
Yeah, it seems like this mixed fabric bullshit is just a weird tangent to go on, because
Right?
let me tell you something. I would bet you my left nut and the right one as well that while they're typing this shit, they're wearing mixed fabrics.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's
I'm sure.
it's
Well, because they said sin leads to, all this horrible stuff. I'm so like, so what's the sin of mixed fabric do? I actually asked in your chat here, and they're like, what is it? Low impulse control, high emotion, lustful minded, quick to anger, all observable. From wearing mixed fabrics? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
here's the thing. Let's say I'm underneath the hood, like my neighbor a few days ago. I'm somewhat mechanically inclined, and I'm very thankful for that. They had a car that was chewed up by rodents. It was a fucking nightmare. So she went out there to start the car. It wouldn't run right. A cylinder was dead. It just was not firing. I opened the hood,
Mhm.
and the engine bay is filled with acorns, and to one of the coil packs, chewed up wires. Chewed up wires. So what I did was I went to the auto parts store. They didn't have the part. So I went to a different auto parts store. They didn't have the part, but they told me of a sister store that could get it. I was cussing the entire time I was driving because traffic was a fucking nightmare. I get the part, drive back. It's getting late. Mosquitoes are biting me. I'm cussing like a motherfucking sailor, and I'm fixing this shit. And by the time all was said and done, she had a working vehicle. She could finally get to work, and I didn't charge her a dime for that repair. She just had to pay for the part, and it was $20. The shop down the street wanted to charge her like $800 to replace the entire wire loom. So
Um,
is that good deed diminished because I was cussing like a sailor the entire time?
Well, it's clearly demons bonded with you and guided you through doing charitable works because God apparently doesn't give fuck all about the poor or the hungry.
Yeah, apparently I need to go to the fucking confessional booth and be like, "I'm sorry I helped my neighbor with her fucked up car because of rodents that, by the way, God invented." And
Right.
and I cussed the entire time. What's my penance? Is it 3 Hail Marys?
I see one of your super chats wants to ask me what I think of Apologia. Yeah, Apologia. I haven't watched Apologia in a very long time. Years ago, I used to watch him a lot back before all the different atheist schisms and fractures and things like that. And
Apologia. He does the cartoon debunks of Ken Ham, right?
yeah, yeah. I remember really liking his content back in the day. I should probably watch it again sometime.
Yeah, I haven't
If I
watched
remember
it
right, he's
in
got a very kind of like basic animated style for his YouTube
I'm gonna be completely
channel.
honest with you. As soon as I got into flat Earth, I stopped watching like literally all atheist content, and so I haven't seen him in a hot minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of pivoted towards space because space is fucking cool. It's like you look at all the sciences. It's like look at this cell and how it operates. Look at how we can make energy transfer more efficient and more reliable. Look at our technology when it comes to electric propulsion, stuff like that. And I immediately win because Saturn, because it's fucking Saturn. There you go. I
Yeah.
won. My science is better than yours because fucking Saturn. So I went the Saturn route, and so I haven't watched any of the other atheist content because it seems to really focus around evolution. And evolution is cool, don't get me wrong. It's just not my cup of
Mhm.
tea. I would prefer to learn about the Milky Way galaxy rather than learning about how we got our thumbs. I'm weird that way, I guess, because I look
Yeah.
at Saturn, I'm like, I put a ring on it too.
See, I really am into the evolutionary side of study and the space side, but for kind of two very different reasons. So for me, viewing the human animal as an animal helps keep me centered, right? Like when I see people doing dumb shit in the world, I'm able to remind myself we're all just a bunch of clever apes, right?
Yep.
Of course, this is the kind of shit apes do,
Yeah.
you know?
We
Um,
we are animals. We eat like animals.
mhm.
We defecate like animals. We fuck like animals. And the only thing that we have actually changed is that with animals out there in the actual wild, they just don't have pink fuzzy handcuffs to add to the mix. We were smart
Right.
enough to invent pink fuzzy
Spiders
handcuffs.
do. Spiders do. They invented bondage, man.
Actually, you got me there. You
Yeah.
got me there. Damn it. I did see Charlotte's Web, and she was a freak in the sheets. CK
Oh
for
man.
$9.99 says Reds is a kind dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Yes.
it, but you also have to add something at the end of that. Reds is a kind dude and an asshole, and no, that is not a contradiction.
It is not. No, but really,
Oh
like
man.
once you ground yourself in the idea of humans as an animal, right? And you start to look at human behavior as a social species and the way we try to bond as groups. A lot of things like tribalism and stuff like that just start to make a lot more sense. It's a much more sober view of the world. So particularly keeping up on evolutionary psychology is really interesting to me. And then as far as cosmology goes, like that stuff is just it's mind bending, right? It's mind blowing. There's stuff that just doesn't make sense, never will make sense, but it literally works and is true. You know what I mean?
Yep, and Soul Lee, whatever the fuck, 77. I feel sorry for you. I really do, because you seem to be of the impression that we are quote unquote in a fallen state, but you haven't demonstrated how. Does caring about your fellow man put me in a fallen state? Is the fact that I helped my neighbor while cussing like a sailor the entire time diminish the good deed that I did? Does that put me in a fallen state? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It seems like because you don't like the fact that's coming from a non-God centric place, that therefore it is lesser than.
Wait,
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
wait. You think that being specially created by a celestial dictator who tells you to bow down or burn for eternity gives you more free will than being a social animal? Are
That
you
seems weird.
fucking kidding me? Like you think that is free will? A celestial dictator literally saying, "Do these things, don't seek knowledge or I will burn you for eternity." That's what you think free will is. Are you
It's like it's like, oh, you sinning puts you in a fallen state, but you didn't answer my question. Let me repeat the question one more time. Does me helping my neighbor fix her car so that she doesn't go fucking bankrupt at the auto part shop, does me doing that good deed get diminished in its awesomeness because I cussed like a sailor while fixing the vehicle because it was a piece of shit design? You have
Seriously.
to answer that question directly, because if you're going to say that that good deed is diminished because I cussed like a sailor the entire time, then I'm just going to say you're full of shit.
Yeah, yeah. So you want me? Oh, someone wants me to talk about Jesus Christ. Do you want me to
Yeah,
talk about that?
let's shift gears. Like, hang on, did you do it for virtuous reasons? I did it to help my neighbor. I think I just said that. I think I said
Right?
that out loud like multiple fucking times. I didn't even ask for payment. I wasn't doing it for money. All she had to do was pay for the part, and I did the
And
work for free. So like, I did it to help my neighbor. Are you trying to get away from answering this question directly because you're gonna be forced to admit that yes, what you did is genuinely a good thing, despite the fact that you cussed like a sailor the entire time? Dude, don't be
and
fucking weak like that.
let me point out too that the reason that we have this instinct for compassion and helping one another is because we're social animals. This is social bonding behavior. This is pack cohesion. In fact, there are studies that show that by and large, conservatives have a smaller sort of instinctual idea of what their pack or their group is, while more liberally or left, minded people tend to have a broader idea of what their pack is, which is why you generally see a broader empathy in more left wing schools of thought.
Yeah, and notice how this person still hasn't answered my question because it said, yeah, bad people
Nope.
can be kind and nice for sure. That doesn't answer the question. I'm going to repeat it one more time. If you fail to answer this question directly, that means that you are intellectually dishonest. You are not having this conversation in good faith. So, for the last time, does my kind act for my neighbor, is that kind act diminished in its awesomeness because I cussed like a sailor the entire time? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is it diminished because I was cussing like a sailor the entire time while fixing this fucking car? I don't care to answer anything.
Wow.
Yep. Well, that
Okay.
actually, there you go. So you're not having this conversation in good faith. So I'm just gonna say, go fuck yourself. Anyway, Jesus Christ. So I do have a question about Jesus and how this may tie into Satanism. Is there
Hmm.
any lessons that Jesus taught that either goes along with or is directly against the teaching of your version of Satanism?
Sure. There's a few different ones, I would say. One, we'll start with one of the easiest ones when Jesus said, "Slaves, obey your masters." And if he was truly a divine, perfect being, that's the last fucking thing he would say.
Oh
Um,
man, yeah. So basically, in the Civil War, Jesus would be on the side of the Confederacy with that one.
with that one, yeah. Don't get me wrong, he said some things that I like, but that was one. Another big one that I will have to sort of take umbrage with when it comes to the whole Jesus mythos is, in spite of whatever he might say about healing, people and feeding the hungry and stuff, which is all good. He also really did a lot to cement this idea of like a celestial kingdom, and that you owe some kind of a blood sacrifice to this god, and only I can pay it for you. So it sort of will he sort of justifies this strange psychotic idea that just by being born and existing, you deserve to die and be tortured. So I'll take umbrage with that. And then the last one is when his dad is basically telling him, "Hey, go out in the desert and suffer." Satan is there going, "You don't have to suffer. He gave you the power. Why are you suffering?" And it's basically because, authority told me so.
Yeah.
So that would be my umbrage. But he also did some cool shit, like heal the sick. Although, to be fair, if they weren't adequately thankful enough, he took away that gift. So I guess kind of fuck him still.
What was yeah, the whole 5 loaves and 2 fish thing? Yeah, that was pretty cool. Um, maybe we should do something similar like that today with oh, I don't know, GMOs and shit. But no, GMOs are of the devil. We have we could have a very unique problem with the idea of too much food, and we should do something. What if we had a program? And I'm just pulling a name out of my ass here. But what if you and I were to invent a program where, because of all the extra food that we were able to grow, thanks to science, we could send that off to other needy people all around the world. We can call it something like, I don't know, USAID or something. Hang on, what's that? Oh, that already existed. Elon Musk
Yeah, it
did
did.
what? Really? Really? Wow, what an asshole. Okay, we'll get back to you on that.
It sounds like a great idea, but
It doesn't
definitely.
sound like a fucking great idea to me. Like, holy shit. It's like, if we're going to be like, hey, you want to know what the best soft power out there? Feeding people. It's like, yeah, I would like to not go hungry. Thank you so much.
So since we're talking about taking umbrage with stuff, let me tell you my favorite. This is the most fucked up thing in the Bible to me, right? Just me personally, this is the most fucked up thing in the Bible. Just for funsies, this is the thing that to me makes Lovecraftian horrors look cuddly in comparison to God. So, particularly if you read the original Hebrew translation of the Bible, um, it talks about. Have you ever read? It is in Deuteronomy. It talks about the marrying of captive women.
I do remember Deuteronomy
And
being incredibly fucked up. I don't remember what verse it is, but the one that I remember from Deuteronomy is that I'm paraphrasing here. I'm going to fuck up the verbiage. Please don't hate me. I'm not going to look it up, but it's something like, if thy mother, thy father, thy brother bring thee away from God, you should kill him. I remember that's in Deuteronomy. So I remember
yeah,
that. I remember Deuteronomy being especially fucked up, but obviously there's a different part of Deuteronomy that's equally fucked up. So please do tell.
yeah. So here's what it actually says: it's Deuteronomy 21:10-14. When you go out to war against your enemies, and Anadai, your god, hands them over to you, and you take prisoners, and you see among the prisoners a woman who looks good to you, and you feel attracted to her and want her as your wife. You are to bring her to your home, to your house, where she will shave her head, cut her fingernails, and remove her prison clothing. She will stay there in your house, mourning her father and mother for a full month. After which you may go to her, rape her, and you will be her husband, and she will be your wife. In the event that you lose interest in her, you are to let her go whenever she wishes, but you may not sell her for money or treat her like a slave because you humbled her, i.e., raped her.
Oh, wow.
And remember, this is God gifting you this young girl to keep essentially as a sex slave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sex slavery in Deuteronomy.
Yep. Yep. Hey, that little. Remember, these would only be virgin girls. So we're talking Bronze Age virgins.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here's my question. What's the appeal again? If you are a moral individual, What is the appeal? What am I not understanding here? Is there something tweaked in my brain that makes all this sound fucking horrible to me? Am I just not a normal person? Am I so degraded or whatever the fuck the other guy said that I just can't see the appeal here because I'm not seeing an upside.
We no longer live like Bronze Age warlords. It's a fallen state.
Oh man.
Oh man, just I don't really get that. Are we talking about Bible or Trump? I'm a bit confused. Well, I have made people have made the argument occasionally that maybe he really is trying to follow the Bible.
Uh, and repeat that one more time. It was Deuteronomy what again?
It is Deuteronomy. Let me pull up my files here. I've got it saved. I don't always remember it by friggin' heart. I've got other things going on in my brain that can that could use the space for. Let's see. Where's my Deuteronomy? Now, one of the things that you will see, it is Deuteronomy 21:10 through 14, marrying a captive woman. Now, one of the things you'll see in most modern translations is they've taken out the word humble, and they've changed it to just go to her and she will be your wife. But the original context, the original text directly translates to humble. You shall humble her, and every scholar of the religion will if they're worth anything, will tell you that that means sexual assault.
So which one is this? Is this King James?
Every version of the Bible has it. They just have slightly, but the King James
different
has
verbiage.
sanitized it.
Yeah, because the
King
one
James
that I
has
was
sanitized
thinking
it.
of was Deuteronomy 13:6. So it says, if thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee sincerely, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely of the gods of the people which are around about you, nigh unto thee and far from thee, from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth, thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thy hand shall be the first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. So basically, if this other guy says, yo, I heard of this other god called Thor, and he's kind of fucking dope. Like, he believes in drinking and hard rock and all that good shit. Let's go serve that. Let's go over there because that's where the fucking party's at. He's like, you should like run away from him. In fact, you shouldn't even run away from him. You shouldn't go to the other end of the earth. You should be the first to put your hands upon him and fuck him up, kill him, and then when you had your fun, killing him, get the rest of the people, because he's obviously a very big chap and he requires a lot of murdering.
Well, we have to we're never quite done killing him until there's nothing left.
we just need more murdering. It's like, Jesus Christ. And yeah, seriously, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this shit? Can you explain this shit to me, Jesus? And then Jesus left the chat. Yeah, man, that's what I
he just
fucking
runs
thought.
off stage.
I've seen that before.
Man.
Like, the only time that we see this issue is that, that's the Old Testament, and I thought the entirety of the Bible was sacred. So, let's say if the New If the New Testament kind of like nullified the shit that was already written there when the Old Testament still existed. God still gave this order that you are to kill somebody because they thought Thor was cooler or whatever. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
So you're worshiping a god that is essentially an evil, jealous, spiteful motherfucker that likes to fuck with people and then drown the whole world.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. It's a Bronze Age war god, is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much like, what a dick. And meanwhile, I don't see Satanism or your particular version of Satanism promoting such acts. It's like, no, we actually like human well-being.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about that, compassion and empathy and reason. I would say the three big ones, compassion, empathy, and reason.
Man, I'm loving this. And it was
And
the
I'm not here to I'm just here to answer questions.
Yeah, so let's see. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. The struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. The freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend, to willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forego one's own. Belief should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. This means we don't do Pac-Man's son, motherfucker. One should take care to never distort scientific facts to fit one's belief. RFK. Sorry, I just had to. People are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that might have been caused. Every tenet is a guiding principle. So, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, they're more like guidelines. Captain Barbossa said it the best. Every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. Just that is poetry right there.
That really is my favorite. Like I said, you can really feel the Enlightenment and Romantic era writers, particularly Enlightenment era writers, the inspiration coming through. And that's the thing, is a lot of the writers that sort of inspired modern Satanism in the Romantic era and the Enlightenment era. They were writing about Satan. They were using Satan as a literary figure, but very few of them actually called themselves Satanists. If any of them did at all, I'm not really aware. But they had just thrown off the shackles of the Catholic Church, and so they were free to kind of explore really interesting ideas in political theory and use what would have been heretical biblical mythology to do it.
Yeah. And I know that with Catholicism in particular, a lot of different religions have split off from Catholicism. So in reality, they're making their own versions as well. They're doing their own shit as well. So by splitting off in the way that they have all throughout human history, they're actually conforming more to these tenets than they are to whatever the Catholics are pushing. I mean, just look at, if I remember correctly, the big ones, especially the ones that are like most aligned but are still separated, are like the Orthodox Church and then the Catholic Church. They are almost identical in every fucking way imaginable, but they're still saying go fuck yourself to the other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, every era, every culture, they conform their idea of who and what God is based on what they already believe, what their moral philosophy is. I have never seen Christians actually go, okay, this is what's in the holy book. This is what I believe. No, it's this is what I believe. What can I find in the holy book to justify that belief? You know?
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of people, and this is very very sad in my opinion. And if they just followed these tenets, they wouldn't be in this fucking mess. There are people out there that I have spoken to that say that the reason why they believe that the Earth is flat is because they interpret that to be in the Bible. They say the Bible says that the Earth is flat, therefore the Earth is flat. The Bible says that there's this uh, unbreakable dome over our heads, as if we're in a
Yeah.
fucking snow globe, and there's no way to get past it. You know, they call it the firmament, and you know, corners of
Mhm.
the earth, and blah blah fucking blah. They say that even if I have had one person say this to me before. This was probably back in
Mhm.
2020 or 2021. I got to find that stream. But they said that even if they went to space and they went to the International Space Station and they could look down upon the Earth and see the curvature for themselves, their faith would demand that they not believe it. They would come up with some sort of cope saying, well, maybe I was drugged, maybe I was put into some sort of trance or hypnotized into seeing something that wasn't actually there. So when they came back from orbit, they would still say, well, that was a cool ride, but the Earth is still flat because the Bible says so.
And I would argue it has very little to do with what the Bible says. I would argue that it usually has more to do with in groups and out groups, right? It's like if I want to feel accepted and I want to feel like I am part of this community that I have entered, if I want to be in the tribe, these are the beliefs I have to have. Because time and time again, when we see people trying to leave a cult, the hardest part of leaving a cult or religion is giving up the community, right? Is giving up that sense of a shared culture and a shared tribe. And so I would actually argue that it's more that bonds people to their beliefs and sort of inspires them to believe things than it is the written word itself.
It
At
seems to me
least
like
for most people.
it could be actually, well, you're right. I agree with you, but it could also be like a feedback loop. They want a community,
Mhm.
so that community reinforces the Bible. Reinforcement of the Bible makes the community stronger, more tight knit. That reinforces the Bible,
Mhm.
reinforces the community, reinforces the Bible, reinforces community, and on and on and on it fucking goes until eventually they can't break away from either one of them, and they'll use either
Yeah.
one as a crutch to get out of very inconvenient facts that directly contradict that worldview. And so it's
Mhm.
sad when, you know, you're talking to this individual and you can ask them these pointed questions and they answer, to their credit, honestly. They say, no,
Mhm.
even if you showed me that the earth was round, even if you sent me to space and I got to look down upon the curvature of the earth itself, I would still say that the earth is flat. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this isn't just cope. We have to invent a new word for this
Yeah.
thing that you're doing.
Mhm.
It's sad. And it's like if they were to break out of this, and let's say somehow I was able to change the chemistry in their brain so that they don't have to hold on to it, and something in their brain went ping, and they said, Actually, let me look and see what Satanism has to offer," and they went there,
Right.
they would not be that way. If they were a Satanist and I were to launch
Mhm.
them on a Falcon 9 and, you know, go to the International Space Station, send them to the International Space Station, they will look down and be like, well, one of the tenets is to follow what conforms with my best understanding of this, my best scientific understanding of the world. Yeah, I'm going to come back and say the Earth is fucking round. I'm not going to bullshit myself and bullshit
No.
everyone else in the process. So, right then and there, just in that hypothetical scenario, what you are promoting here is so much better. So
Well,
I have a question here. It's like Soli or whatever the fuck your name is, 77. Are you not seeing what I'm saying here? Like, you guys tend to be a little bit more batshit crazy than
hmm.
my guest here. I'm sorry, it's just a fact.
Well, they're talking about my truth, your truth. There's one truth.
Your
Now,
truth,
truth
my
is
truth.
truth.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Right. There's no my truth, there's no your truth. There is truth. And if you believe untrue things, it's not your truth. That's your own, self-delusion. That's just how it is. And we were talking about the scientific method and science in general. And that reminds me, you know, the scientific method exists because, humans, we did not evolve in a state where science and rational thinking were positive survival traits, right? Like we're not prone to rational thought. We're not prone to reason. We are capable of it. But the whole reason for having things like, the laws of logic, the whole reason for having the scientific method is we need frameworks to sort of to try and weed out as much of our bias and as much of the sort of failings of a natural sort of traps that the human mind wants to fall into. And when people completely free themselves from that and they think that they can just believe whatever the hell they want to believe, and they don't need any sort of guiding principle to help discern truth from lie, that's where you get people like this. That's where you get these crazy ideas of, the earth is flat, or cursing invites demons into you, or whatever.
It's if cursing invites demons into me, they're obviously not doing a good job controlling my ass. Like, I would be doing way more cool shit if I had demons flowing through my veins. They would be like, maybe Evil Knievel was onto something. Let's go get ourselves a Yamaha dirt bike and just let her rip. I'd be doing way more cool shit than, oh, I don't know, going to work and contributing to society. It's kind of boring, actually.
Okay, do what thou wilt is Levian Satanism. We went over this. We read the tenets of Satanism as I practice, and one of them literally says that you should try to resolve any harms and make up for the wrongs that you cause. So no, I'm not trying to justify not taking accountability for your wrongs. It's written right into the goddamn tenets. Shut the hell up.
And it's like, no, swearing doesn't invite demons. It means you have demons. And let me ask you something. What is the downside of these demons? Because if I am to look upon like what I can't tell you how many times I've cussed today, and all I did was, let's see, I got up at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. I went to work, was very productive, contributed to society, made a paycheck. Went to Costco, got myself a $1.50 hot dog and some gas. That was nice. The $1.50 hot dog was great. By the way, true story. The CEO of Costco told his board members, "If you raise the price of the fucking hot dog, I'll kill you." Total awesome,
Total badass.
That was great, excellent, 10 out of 10. That's capitalism done right. I then came back here, took a shit. It was very very let's just say satisfying. And then I hopped on here and I'm talking to this awesome guest. Yeah. So what did demons do to make all of that not like productive or pleasurable or whatever?
Whoa, I have evil energy? Sweet. My wife is gonna dig this.
I think what we have here is this person just spiraling with cope. Yes, you can do good things without God. You're just gonna have to accept that. I'm sorry if that fucks with you in some way, shape, or form, but you're gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to square that circle on your own time. You can be happy without God. You can do good shit without God. You can be a moral person without God, and you can say that, oh, you have demons inside you. Well, these demons didn't stop me from helping out my neighbor when rodents decide to go absolute ape shit on her car's wiring system. It's like you're saying that all these things are bad without demonstrating how they're bad, how they lead to me doing bad shit. Like, you literally have not made a convincing case of why I should follow your bullshit. My guest here has made a convincing case of why I should follow what he's following, especially when it comes to this idea of science and following evidence where the evidence leads, not going out of my way to delude myself. These are really, really good things. These are good guidelines that I believe I should be following, and I believe we should all be following. And they also go so far as to say, without the guilt trippy God bullshit, hey, we're going to go ahead and do a fundraiser. We're going to help people that would be in need. We'll go ahead and have a toy donation for kids so that they actually get something. We will have a food drive, and we'll build homes for people. These are things that are actually really, really fucking good. So you're saying that the way we're doing things is bad, but bad in what way? Because the only way that it would be bad is that we're saying that we don't need your God to basically threaten us with eternal hellfire in order to do these things. We're doing it because we want to
Right.
do it, because it's a nice thing to do. So, like, what the fuck? Where's the downside here, and how is your shit the upside? Make a convincing case. And if you can't make a convincing case, then do yourself a favor. Stop wasting your time and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. You're basically in the company of a bunch of people that are convinced by evidence, not a bunch of random babble. Um, so have you heard at all about Gray Faction?
What is that?
So Gray Faction is one of the missions of the Satanic Temple, and so I'm sure you're aware a little bit, at least tangentially, I'm sure, of like the '80s Satanic Panic.
Hmm.
Okay. So that was mostly started from one therapist, essentially, that wanted to get famous. And he started
Yes.
doing, yeah, he started doing memory regression therapy. You know what I mean? And of course, that has since been debunked, that it creates memories. It doesn't actually, bring up memories. But Gray Faction is a faction of is it like I said, a mission of the Satanic Temple, that all they do is they fight against bunk pseudoscience, pop psychology bullshit. I
So
find
so
them really,
filtering
really
out.
fascinating.
So it sounds like this is more like a filter. This idea to filter out the bullshit. So Gray Faction
Mhm.
would be, the introduction of a filter. Is that a fair way of
Right.
phrasing it?
I think I think so. They have a lot of actual like college and university professors and things like that in Gray Faction, and they do their best to basically bust myths and support causes that have real science-based results in neurology and excuse me, psychology and therapy. Damn these allergies.
Nah,
So
I
yeah,
understand, man.
so Grave Action is a really, really interesting mission, and one, if you're like if you're tired of seeing like pseudoscience bullshit in the area of psychology, it's definitely one to just kind of look up and just be kind of interested in what they're doing.
Yeah, and I also want to say, for every cough, that's another prong on Satan's fork. So it's excellent. And when I look at like this filter
Mhm.
concept, that's a good thing in my opinion. That's a very, very good thing. Essentially, it's like, hey, listen, we know that throughout your entire life you probably have been fed a lot of bullshit, and you were probably fed this bullshit under this idea that if you didn't go along with it, that you would be burning forever in hell. So we just want you to know that this is actually a place where we don't really tolerate that shit, and we're going to filter out the
Hmm.
bullshit, leaving only good information. That way you can make the most informed choices in your own life.
Black Burn Big Dragon says, I always thought that the name the Satanic Temple was an unfortunate name to select. So many people decide when they're about based on so what they're about based on when they see movies and how the name they associate with that. That's actually part of the reason for it. That's part of the power of it, right? For one, it is a rebellious thing to call yourself a Satanist because we live in a Judeo-Christian culture, like it or not. The other part is, let's say that somebody wants to put up they want to fly their Christian flag at their local preschool, let's say, right? It doesn't really make a statement to say, okay, well, if you want to fly your Christian flag, I want to fly my Church of the Cuddly Teddy Bear flag, right? No one's gonna give a shit, right? But if you say, okay, you have to fly my flag of the Satanic Temple, I want this sigil of Lucifer on a flag flying over. Now you're making a point. Now you're going, okay, if your religion is going to be there, my religion is going to be there, and something tells me you don't want it there.
Mm. Yep, I can. I have seen these types before. I remember, I believe it was a courthouse. A courthouse had placed a marble slab in the front that had the Ten Commandments on there,
Hmm.
and they said, "Oh, okay, you can keep that. We're actually okay with you keeping that, but." What we would like to do is to have a statue of Satan, and I believe the statue had like children looking up at him and stuff like that. And
Yeah, it was Baphomet. Yeah.
it's great. I love this shit, and it's like, oh no, you
Hmm.
can keep it there, but you're gonna keep ours as well. Oh, you don't like it? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal. You take down yours, and we'll take down ours. Let's make this place even for all, where we're not promoting one over the other. Because quite frankly, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I love that. And keep in mind that I would say with 95% certainty that the people
Mhm.
that would be pushing to have such a monument put up don't actually believe in Satan as a
No.
literal, real being, entity, whatever. It's it,
Nope.
it it's one of those. It's Satan is essentially being used as a tool to get a point
As a
across.
figurehead. Well, it's symbolism, right? Like here's the thing. If I hold up if I hold up a cross, right? In fact, I've got one here. I'm making a satanic rosary. So let's say I hold this up, right? This image is going to invoke things in you, whether or not you actually believe in it, right? This symbol invokes certain feelings because of, well, there's a few different reasons that it could be, but it invokes something.
Yeah,
Satan invokes
like
something.
Jesus dying for our sins type of thing.
Right, exactly. And so Satan does. And for Satanists, the image of Lucifer invokes a feeling of freedom and rebelliousness. For others, it obviously invokes a feeling of evil and wrong. But actually, what's interesting is the Sabbatic goat or Baphomet, as you mostly see depicted in Satanism. You'll actually see the Baphomet far more often than you'll see Lucifer. Baphomet is actually, at least the version of Baphomet that, like you saw in that statue, for instance, was actually created by a philosopher, Eliphas Levy, I believe, Eliphas Levy. Anyways, and it was it's a creature that was supposed to be a symbol of the unification of opposites, right? Balance. So you'll notice it's got one hand up and one hand down, as above, so below. It is both human and animal, with the goat's head and the human body. It has both masculine features with a belt that symbolizes a, well, male genitalia, but it also has female breasts.
And by the way, as above, so below. It's an awesome song by In This Moment. Seriously, look up. And
Mhm.
I don't believe this is the case, but I gotta try, and I hope you can forgive me for this brief segue. But for In This Moment, the singer Maria Brink. Hi Maria. I just want you to know that I would very much be honored to have your babies. Anyway, moving on. So, but yes.
I love that you're gonna have her babies. You're gonna let her knock you up. That's fantastic.
I mean, I,
You're like, I will bottom
am,
for you.
I am not apologizing. So, but yes, it is the statue and just what it symbolizes, and the fact that it pisses off so many people would be like, well, now you know how we fucking feel. It's like you're shoving this shit down our throat. You don't want it shoved down your throat, so fuck off. Like and I understand the artistic nature of it, and it's a beautiful piece of art, absolutely. And as I said previously, the art is one of the things that I really really like about the Catholic Church. Again, most of it's stolen. I accept this, but they got some great art pieces. I still would love to go to the Vatican one day, not because I believe what they're pushing, but just because of the art and just how beautiful everything is. I mean, I love cathedrals and the artwork within those cathedrals and the statues and the marble monuments and all that. It's just fucking beautiful. And if we can make our own versions of that and have it piss people off and actually send a message to the point where we can stop people doing stupid shit like putting the 10 Commandments in schools and courtrooms and shit, I'm all for it. But with all that said, I would like to shift gears because we've been going on for quite a while, and I have a very important question that I've been waiting to ask you. And so we all remember back in 2000, I might be getting the year wrong here, 2003, I think it was, 2003, The Passion of the Christ. Because as we all know, was it Mel Gibson? Mel Gibson basically took a lot of ketamine, and I mean a lot of ketamine, and just went to town on that movie. I would be curious, would you support the Satanic Temple making a movie that is in direct opposition to the Passion of the Christ? And if so, who would you like to star in it?
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, it's got to have Ryan Reynolds. Just straight up Ryan Reynolds. It's, I would absolutely support it, and I think it would have to be a satirical movie about like the Satan, a figure of the Bible, watching all this happen and just going, what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like literally going to Jesus and going, dude, you don't have to do this, what are you doing, you know what I mean?
So it would be like that. So would it be created in the same style as like the Scary Movie series? or like even better, like Meet the Spartans.
No, what's got to be done is you literally just give Ryan Reynolds a bag of money and say, this is now your comedy vehicle, this is what we're going for, surprise me.
Oh man, I would be like, okay, my thing is that I would like to add one actor into the
Mhm.
mix, and the actor that I would like to add into the mix would be Jim Carrey.
Ooh, who would he play?
Now here's the thing. So I'm thinking of remember his performance in The Grinch.
Oh yeah.
So what I'm thinking is we just modify that getup a little bit. Same exact type of style, same exact type of like personality that the Grinch had, and we just
Mhm.
make him Satan. That would be great. And we have Ryan Reynolds, direct it and produce it and shit like that. Fuck, go ahead and throw Deadpool in there just for shits and giggles. It's like
Deadpool versus Jesus.
Deadpool versus let he who is without sin kick the first ass. I mean,
Oh
and
man.
just have it be like scary movie style. I would love that. Especially like instead of like the talking snake, we can get like the parrot from Scary Movie. It's like, hey, Polly, want a crack? And then the parrot goes, Polly wants your mama's sweet ass.
Oh god damn it.
I love it. It's great. I love this idea. It's like Jim Carrey would be great as Jesus. Imagine his facial expression and body contortions during the torture scene. Yeah, but
See,
in my
oh man. See, I see Ryan Reynolds as Lucifer doing the observational comedy of what the fuck?
but here's the thing. It's like how Jesus is suffering during the whipping and the chains and whatnot. But instead of that, in this movie, I would imagine like every time the whip happens, Jim Carrey playing Jesus would go like, like ooh woo or something like that after every hit or something
Oh
like that.
no. Oh god.
Oh my god! So my question to you is very simple: would you support an anti-Passion of the Christ production?
Yes, I would. Yes, I very much would. I would spend money trying to make it happen.
Oh god, I
Oh
would
my god.
that would be super fucking good. I think we could also get Jim. What the fuck's his last name? Jim Caviezel? You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna look it up. Passion of the
Okay.
Christ. Passion of the Cast. There we go. Okay, so I was wrong. It wasn't 2003. It was 2004. I was close though. I was close. Jim Caviezel. Jim Caviezel, whoever the fuck that is. That's who played Jesus. I would invite him to star in this movie.
I can see it. I can
But
see
but
it.
but not as Jesus, as like a much lesser character because yes, the symbolism has to be there.
All right, who would play actual God?
Who would play actual God? Actually, I know who. Morgan Freeman.
Just pull up Morgan Freeman again?
Morgan Freeman.
Oh
I mean,
god.
he has. It's on his resume. Let's be honest here. It
It is.
is
It is.
on his resume. Morgan Freeman. Not only that, Morgan Freeman has the voice of like melted butter. Oh,
Mhm.
just
And imagine him just
excellent.
saying the craziest, most horrible shit in that perfect, like you just want to hug grandpa voice.
So God would be played by Morgan Freeman. Absolutely,
Mhm.
110%. I will not be taking any corrections here. This has to happen. So God would be played by Morgan Freeman, and in my opinion, that's the only choice that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
literally the
yeah,
only
no,
choice that makes sense.
I can already hear it now. I really can.
And if we went even further, I would say that like uh, who was it? Was it um, it was who was the Peter, the main disciple, the first pope of the church, Peter. Now,
Oh,
get
right.
this. I want Peter to be played by Arnold Schwarzenegger just because it would be funny. and
Oh my
and
God.
so and so when Jesus, like, one of you will betray me, he needs to come in on that scene and say, "Come with me if you want to live."
Or can the Apostle Peter be Peter from Family Guy? Like just the only animated character of the film. You just
I
show
think
up.
Seth
Yeah.
MacFarlane would be good on that. Seth MacFarlane would be
Yeah.
great. But we have to add Stewie somewhere in there. We have to add Stewie
uh,
somewhere in there. That would be amazing.
I think criminally underrated was his A Million Ways to Die in the West. I found that movie fucking hilarious.
Man. Let's see. Or follow me on this one. 82 Production says, or follow me on this one. Morgan Freeman is Megatron, the voice of God, but God will be played by Alanis Morissette.
Alanis Morissette. Yeah. Go back to what is it? Dogma.
Let's see
Yeah, I'm down.
who the fuck is this? Oh yeah, I know who this person is. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that could work too. That could work too. I think this would be a great production, and you're right. Just give Reynolds a shitload of money. Just be like, hey, here's like a bunch of money. Work your magic. Surprise me. It'll be in theaters everywhere. It-
Stewie is Judas. Yeah.
Oh man, this will be great. You've seen the Passion of the Christ. Well, now get ready for the newest summer special, Passion of the Christ 2. Let he who is without sin kick the first ass.
Dude, you got a good voice for that. You need to do the trailer.
Yeah, we got to do the trailer, which is weird because my voice can be best described as teenager hopped up on Red Bull and Mountain Dew.
I'd like to lie and tell you, oh no, man, it's great, but I'm not gonna do that.
No. Don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself there. It's like,
Uh,
but if people are curious, I do have an OnlyFans. Unfortunately, it is just pictures of my feet and armpits. So do with that information what you will. So I think we had a good conversation here. I would like to know,
mhm.
do you have any future plans with the church that you would like to make us aware of?
Not with the church specifically, but I do have a channel where I've been sharing some thoughts on a lot of different things, but mostly Satanism. But more importantly, I do what I'm calling Hellbound Testimonies, where I interview other Satanists from all different walks of life and sort of get their perspective on Satanism, their story, how they ended up involved in Satanism. One of the more interesting stories is Grimm, who he's Roman Catholic. He went on a pilgrimage to Rome, and that's what deconverted him. He saw the suffering and the poverty and the homelessness sitting right next to these giant pillars of wealth and excess, and that's what abused him of his faith. While another guest, it was their sister visiting Rome that converted them to Catholicism. So it's a really interesting mix of different perspectives. So if you want to check out my channel and see what makes a weirdo like me end up calling themselves a Satanist, well, you'll get a variety of different stories.
And ladies and gentlemen, in the description, I will leave a link to his YouTube channel. I highly recommend you go over there and show your love. After you are done watching this stream, please go over there and hit subscribe, watch some content of his. Again, I really found it interesting. What we should do is we should have another conversation like this in a few months, just to see how things are going. And what I would like to do is I would like to invite some people that are very upset in the live chat right now to have a bit of a conversation with us. This was more of an interview. We did interact with the live chat, I do accept. This was more of an interview type of scenario. I would like to change things up a little bit. So here's what I'm going to do. In a few months' time, maybe let's say January. That gives us enough time. Maybe sometime in January, sometime next year, I'm gonna make a post on my community tab. So subscribe to my channel if you care to see that post the very moment it comes out, and we'll schedule one of these again. And all you have to do is hop on Discord with us, and we can have another chat. And if you have things on your mind, if there's some things you would like to challenge us on, or if you want to try and convince us that we're going down the path of darkness, whatever the fuck that means, that will be your chance. That will be your chance to interact with us and maybe get us to go down a different road. We'll see what happens. I believe that that would be very interesting and very entertaining. So yeah, please go ahead and check out his channel. Again, I will leave it in the description down below. Good sir, I'm going to give you the last word. Go ahead and take us off.
How about I just leave us with 2 words? Hail Satan.
And with that, have a good night.